Welcome to Softcore History.
Hello and welcome back to Softcore History. My name is Jake Goldman and I'm in the leader chair today. I'm the topic master. That's right.
I like that for the new host.
What, leader?
Topic master.
Topic master? Yeah, I think that's fine. I mean, I haven't done this seat in a minute, actually, because the last episode I did got erased on Zoom, and it probably wasn't very good anyway. And then I think I did music before that, and we had a lot of holiday stuff, and not my favorite episode I've ever done.
Been a minute.
Yeah,
it's been a minute.
I'm actually...
A lot of pressure on you today.
So yeah, more of a redemption chair.
This is a redemption chair for me. Personally, I took this opportunity at a 3-day weekend, so I got Martin Luther King Jr. Day off. It's a lot of syllables for a holiday, but got that day off.
Yeah, I prefer Christmas.
Christmas?
And that's it.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the only holiday I celebrate.
You celebrate Christmas?
Yeah. Not even Easter.
Well, Christianity will come up in this a little bit.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, your favorite topic. But join with me. You just heard him talking. Is Rob Fox. How you doing today, Rob?
Doing good. Short day.
Looking sharp in that St. Louis Blues sweater.
That is a good St. Louis.
It's
That's a jersey, isn't it?
It's a Gretzky sweater.
It's fucking Gretzky,
well,
baby.
you clearly don't watch hockey because I refer to it as a sweater.
Yeah, it's not a jersey. It's a sweater.
Oh, yes, I do not watch hockey whatsoever. That other voice you hear criticizing me, as always, is Dan Regester. What's up, man?
Well, you are from Florida, so I'll let it go.
We have two of the best performing hockey teams in the country right
Panthers
now.
are America's team right now.
Yeah.
How can they not be? I'm going to root for either Florida team if they're in the Stanley Cup
It is
playoffs.
hilarious for a Miami team to win the Stanley Cup.
It's almost as ridiculous as a Tampa Bay team.
I
to win the
believe
Stanley
last
Cup.
week Kodak Black was just beating cheeks at the game, too.
I saw that video, actually, yeah. Noted Gator fan Kodak Black was seen in the middle of his box seat just bending over a chick.
I think there was a second angle. It was just a little bumping and grinding.
Oh, it wasn't
there was
like
no
full
full
on
penny.
I saw the straight on angle from across the stadium where it looks like he is just going to town. Yeah,
I want to believe he slipped it in.
I always choose to believe in magic, right? To believe in like just the magic in the world.
Free Kodak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
is he in jail again? No. It's like, shit, that was quick.
Public sex.
Yeah. Can't get him for that.
I honestly don't even know what he went to jail for originally.
Oh, dude.
Could have been like the worst thing ever. I would have just screamed free Kodak.
Yeah.
I think it's like violation of parole was what got him into jail. But that's clearly the second time. Because you don't go to jail for violating your parole the first time. Mm-hmm. You need to go to jail the first time. So I don't know. He was riding around on like ATVs in South Florida.
No, that was Meek.
Oh, I am thinking of Meek.
You're thinking
right.
of Meek Mill popping
I am
wheelies.
thinking of Meek. Yes, you're right. That is Meek Mill. Yes.
On a dirt bike.
But what's crazy is that story is equally as Philly as it is Miami. Because...
Well, yeah, when I was home for the holidays, my parents were like, if you go downtown, you go to Philly, if you hear a dirt bike or an ATV, it's too late.
It's kind of true, though. Like, that's
hilarious because you can hear them from a long way away.
Yes, they'd be robbing people.
There's a weird situation in my neighborhood where people dirt bike in it all the time.
Dude, we just had that start up around Christmas. I think a bunch of kids got shit.
Yeah. Well, like, there's this, like, huge, long, narrow patch of just, like, grass and wilderness because there's, like, a gas pipeline going under it.
Okay.
And you can't grow anything there other than grass. So there's no trees or anything because you can't get roots or anything.
It's kind of perfect.
So they just go fucking bananas on it. And there's like little redneck kids in my neighborhood that are like doing it. There's nothing like that screams redneck to me more than when I see this fucking kid in my neighborhood who's fine. I don't like hate him or anything, but he's like riding his dirt bike around barefoot, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we had a couple of those.
Just start doing meth.
Perhaps we have more in common than we have.
I was just about to say, there's got to be something said for like the fact that in like inner city ghettos and also like
are huge
also
in dirt bikes and
redneck.
ATVs. Yeah,
it's like outdoor motorsports. Right. They bridge that gap.
Look,
so
I'm
well.
from Missouri. I know someone who died in an ATV accident.
Yikes!
Yeah,
that sucks, man.
That wasn't great.
Yeah, I feel like for whatever reason though, when I think extreme motorsports, I think Vegas.
Why? I would never think Vegas.
Like dune buggies.
Travis Pastrana, I believe, is from Vegas.
Is he?
Yeah,
I could say
that whole like Nitro Circus group.
Are they all Vegas dudes?
I think they're all in Vegas.
It is kind of, if you're like a skater or biking or anything like that, it's kind of a warm weather sport. Like
That's
the
true.
same way like Florida and California put out a ton of like baseball players and shit like that.
Yeah, because you can play fall ball.
Yeah, play year round. Vegas too actually puts out a ton of baseball players.
I could see that. Yeah, Arizona.
Yeah.
shit like that. Yeah, no, man. I mean, it kind of makes sense too. Like, actually, the desert would make more sense for outdoor motorsports because there's less obstacles too in the desert. Like, you can see it all coming. You know what I mean? Like, you're doing it through the forest, you're going to catch a tree and Sonny Bono yourself.
Yeah, you might hit like a dead body in the desert.
Yeah, but that's on the ground. It's not floating at head
And that's
height.
just a poor berry job.
I was going to say that's
Yeah.
just another motorsport, extreme sport person, like a motorsportist.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Just someone that, or
It's like Everest. You know, they can't take the bodies with them. They just have to leave it there.
yeah, makes sense.
Dude, wouldn't that'd be the coolest part about climbing Everest, by the way.
Just the fucking,
There's just bodies.
well, there's like
everywhere.
waypoints.
You run out of food.
There's checkpoints that are named after the dead people.
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And also,
The bodies are frozen, right? So
Yeah.
the meat's it's pretty
Meat's fine.
contained, right?
Yeah, I
so
mean,
I feel like you have
gotta warm it up.
It's
You
that
have some
piece-
options if you run out of food.
yeah, it's that piece of chicken in the back of your freezer.
Yeah, you got to chip away at some of the frost burn. But
But that's fine. And also,
You're not
apparently,
picky at that point.
global warming or whatever is like melting some of the snow now, so more dead bodies are popping out.
Yeah.
Like previously forgotten dead bodies are starting to poke out.
you just see the Sherpa up there. Oh shit, I
Yeah.
forgot about that guy.
I love Sherpas. You know, they like smoke cigs while they're climbing.
Sherpas do a lot of things Sherpas constantly climb the mountain and they get the least amount of credit for it. They're like doing it like, I mean, obviously it's still a strenuous job, but I've watched like the videos of them getting to the ascent part where they're crossing all those like crevasses or whatever you call them. And like, yeah, they're blasting heaters and like balancing on sticks and shit, like testing it all to make sure the white people can get across it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how does bringing back the woolly mammoth solve the permafrost issues?
I have not read about that.
And global warming. I just know the two are connected and that they can clone and bring back kind of Jurassic Park this bitch
Which they should.
and save the planet with woolly mammoths.
I don't understand.
I don't connect the dots.
I don't
but
understand.
I know I read that headline.
Are they going to eat a lot of the peat that is on the ground, and then that makes less greenhouse
Why don't
gas?
you just get rid of the peat? Or more importantly, do these things not fart methane?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, woolly mammoths.
I try
are
to do
giant.
my part. I eat enough cow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But because
I try to kill as many cows as I can.
well, since we're on the topic of nature and ecological issues, let's get right into our topic. Actually,
I mean, if you want, yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, we
Is
got
that what people are here for, Joel? I don't think so.
we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about because today we're going to be talking about my personal favorite terrorist of all time,
Okay.
the Unabomber Ted Kasinski.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate that. You're not going with like the Yankees and Bin Laden or something. Like you're not going with the kid. You're not going with the goat.
No, we do terrorism way better than all those people do. I'm not going to sit here and strip a title from a
Polacks?
hardworking American.
Yeah.
No, he was born here.
Yeah.
From a hardworking American who did it good. All right. He did it real good.
Yeah.
He did it the best, some would say, actually. But
Now, I believe he was before my time, but I know the name.
yeah,
Right.
The Ted Kasinski is the Unabomber. Most main.
Kind of before both of your times.
Yeah, I don't actually know what he did, though.
So he got arrested. Well, you're going to learn today.
Yeah, is he alive still?
Yes. Yes, he is.
He's in the same jail as the Boston bomber. I think he's in that.
Oh, the hot bomber?
He's in that suit. Yeah, the hot bomber.
He recently actually got moved to another prison because of health concerns. He's getting pretty old.
Okay.
But
That was my favorite.
He was-
Rolling Stone just being like, he's too
I
hot.
cannot believe they put him on the
kill.
cover of a fucking.
How could a boy this hot? And he it was like an old picture. He was like under 18, I think, in that picture.
Of course, Rolling Stone did that. Yeah. Put an underage person, made them sexualize them,
Yeah.
regardless of what they do. Yeah.
It's like, whoa,
My,
too hot to
He just
kill?
sm-
Question mark.
yeah.
He
My favorite
smolders.
footage, though, was for sure the high school wrestling videos where he just gets
Getting
dominated.
destroyed.
Yes.
That's probably why he did it.
Yeah.
That's probably why he did it. And those kind of themes are going to come up today. So
One thing real quick I just
Yeah.
want to say about the Unabomber because it was before your time.
he really likes to mention that.
Yeah.
Well, he's an old fart.
Yeah,
An
that's
old-
true.
old-
Back in my day.
I'm an old soul because I'm old. One of the great early Will Ferrell characters in Saturday Night Live.
Oh, was
Ted Kasinski.
Ted Kasinski.
He played the Unabomber on SNL.
I've never seen that.
Oh, you should YouTube it afterwards.
I will.
It's really funny.
I will.
From what I remember, though, am I incorrect in thinking the sketch of the Unabomber kind of looks almost D.B. Cooper in a hood?
Yes. It's a
It
hood.
looks nothing like Ted Kasinski.
It looks like the most it looks like the basic Sims character with aviators and a hood on.
Yeah.
Basically. It's impossible to identify anyone with it. It's like, look for a man in giant black sunglasses and a hood.
Maybe white?
He's 5'10" and whitish. Like,
he's like, they made the skin white, but they gave him like a Jerry curl or something. It's really bizarre. It's like they put every type of race that they could into this one. Like, they didn't know who. Like, they should have just put a question mark.
yeah.
Did they go to like the boardwalk to get one of the artists to just kind of put something together?
He wasn't on a skateboard in the photo, no.
No, he wasn't. His head wasn't was significantly larger than his little tiny toothpick body. But
He wasn't wearing like an umbrella hat.
He was not. He was
And,
wearing
like driving a little car.
So most mainstream knowledge about the bomber, I'm not letting this go any further. Dan, since this is before our time, what we're going to go through basically is his upbringing, kind of his life in academia, and the influences that happened to him in his life that might have gotten him to committing the crimes and the investigation. We're going to cover all of it.
Typical fucking leftist, liberal university cuck.
We'll get into that too, because he has a lot to say about those types.
Yeah.
So Ted Kasinski, most mainstream knowledge about the Unabomber only exists of the media coverage of his attacks and arrests, as well as his manifesto published in the Washington Post in 1995. However, in order to really understand how gifted young prodigy became one of the most wanted people in American history, we're going to have to dive deep into that early life. We're going to have to crack open some of the shit that happened to him in college. And we're really going to have to talk about his time spent off the grid in Montana for about 5 years, from 1970 to 1975.
There's no two more dangerous. There are others, but like, someone's a terrorist when you hear the words like white guy and off the grid, or like, I don't know, Islamic extremist or something like it. But like white guy off the grid, it's just like there's only one thing. There's only one path to walk down at that point.
Oh, that's really fucked up, man.
Yeah.
I think someone who will come up later in the story, Janet Reno, has a lot to say and like do with putting that thought in your head.
Yeah,
people
I actually
can live
have
off the grid without being terrorists.
We've had a white guy who was off the grid on Drinking Bros not that long ago, and he became a massive fitness influencer and owns his own company, Chris Duffin.
Yeah. Well, he terrorizes his muscles.
That's true.
He is a terror to his muscle fibers. No, but I think a lot of that comes from, I'm not saying you're wrong to think that, because by and large it's true, but a lot of that comes from the Ruby Ridge siege, and also the incident at Waco.
Lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's where, our intelligence agencies murdered people.
Yeah.
Without giving them a fair shake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No,
either
you
way,
said
the Waco people-
murder. What do you mean by that, Jake?
they executed either intentionally or by fucking stupidity a bunch of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what that John Goodman movie's about?
What John Goodman movie?
Oh, wait, no, that's Red State.
Red State's awesome, though. Yeah. Red State's really good. But either way, safe to say this one's going to be a blast. Hey, yeah, we're going to have fun with this one, guys. All right. So Ted was born on May 22nd, 1942. Dan, he's a fellow May baby, just about a week from us. Around
Shout
there.
out to all my Tauruses.
Yeah, he's a Gemini, which makes sense. But he was born May 22nd, 1942 in Chicago, Illinois, to two Polish immigrants.
Now, is that the new kind of signage? I know they moved dates.
No. We're going classic here. We're only doing classic
that's
signs.
bullshit.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you change somebody's sign
you got to be an asshole.
halfway through their life?
You got to be an asshole. It's like, so you're telling me all the horoscopes I read were wrong?
Could be.
I mean,
It's a real bad way to undermine your
Entire
borderline
identity.
religion, I guess, at that point. Like the Pope just comes out and he's just like, actually, Jesus,
he fucked a lot.
fucked all the time. Fucked too much.
He was really going at it.
Yeah.
He was a fuck rabbit, man. Anyway.
We are all literally Jesus' children.
Yeah. He's like Genghis Khan times 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he's born to two Polish immigrants in Chicago, and if his Polish name and family and birth location isn't Chicago enough for you, his dad was also a sausage maker. He made the sausage.
Sausage.
Yeah.
I was going to say, how many Polacks does it take to make a terrorist? Two.
These two.
These
Ted
two.
Kaczynski's parents.
Yeah.
God, that must have been a joke.
Had to be.
It had to have been a Polish joke.
Yeah. Well, think about it. Like, that's such a good. The root of all Polish jokes is that they're incompetent.
Yeah.
And buffoons.
Yes.
So it's just like maybe Ted Kaczynski was just really bad at sending letters.
And just really good at getting run over by tanks.
He was bad at sending letters.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
That's just-
It's like, oh shit, it blew up again. It's like the guy that tries to cook something and it always catches on fire.
Yeah.
That's Ted with mail bombs.
My darn Polish blood.
That's right. His parents told David, Ted's younger brother, that Ted was a happy baby. However, a case of the hives from a reaction to medicine forced him into medical isolation at the age of 6 months.
And this, by the way, I think it's safe to say, hearing that, that if you vaccinate your children, they will become terrorists.
It's kind of adding up. They don't say what the medication was, but what it like he got hives from it, and he's 6 months old. He's
I
probably
was
getting
also
vaccines,
in
right?
isolation as a child when
Were
I was
you?
born.
How long?
A few months, I think.
What?
Yeah.
When? How old were you?
I almost died coming out of the womb.
Oh, so wait, you were put into like a premature unit or like an ICU for babies?
I don't remember.
NICU, they call it.
Well,
I didn't keep like a detailed.
So I guess I'm trying to figure out the
Rapport.
differences right now between you and Ted Kasinski, because he was a happy baby for about 6 months, and then pulled away from his parents.
No, I was immediately pulled away.
You were
from my
immediately
parents.
pulled away. That explains a lot more of your personality.
Yeah, and
You are kind
a
of
lot of my relationships.
fully non-committal. Like, you don't want to attach yourself to anything.
Not even myself.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you learned that literally out of the womb. You're like, well, can't really rely on anyone sticking around.
So, there's like, he was away from his parents for 2 weeks, and they were only allowed to visit him like twice a week for 2 hours at a time. So a lot of people think this could actually be pretty detrimental to a kid, just having to go through like
like
very
an infant?
like clinical and sterile stuff. I mean, we don't have to get into it really because I have a lot to cover. But like,
I have an infant, like literally right now in my home, and I don't know, maybe it just feels like he's like happy with anyone. We're
that's
so
true.
fucking replaceable right now.
He is very easy to. If you walk that kid around and show him stuff constantly, he's not going to cry.
Yeah.
Like he's going to be fine with you holding
Like
him.
I say this all the time, like as long as you kept my child on his feeding and nap schedule, you could murder us and kidnap him and he would never know the difference.
He would know. He would totally know.
That's a sweet but wrong sentiment.
Ted's mom noted that he showed little to no emotion whatsoever for several months after the visit. And actually, so there's a photo of
What kind
Ted.
of emotion does an 8-month-old show?
So it wasn't crying. He wasn't crying, like, which is bizarre.
He was all out of tears.
Yeah. So he was actually a couple of years later shown a photo of himself as a baby in the hospital. I guess the parents wanted to take a picture of this. So he's like being held down and examined by doctors.
Look, when you have a baby, it's a natural urge to just take as many pictures
Just
as possible.
document it,
Yeah,
like-
even if the baby's literally suffering, you're
His
just like,
story
well,
must be
I
told.
should get a picture, yeah.
His story must be told. So
I mean, think about how many children you see sitting on Santa's lap in pure terror.
that's true. That's a good point. But yes.
No offense, I have to mute anybody that has a baby on Instagram.
You mute me?
Yeah.
Did you mute me?
I did.
I'll just DM you all my baby pics.
You're getting blocked. I don't want to see your big-headed baby.
Wow, that's fucking rude. His head is in like the 98th percentile.
That just means he has a big brain, which might be a bad thing.
Yeah.
If we want to follow this story.
Well, if he's, as long as he's good at sending letters.
Just don't fuck that up. Man.
Yeah, he's not
Don't build him
Polish.
out of wood and make him explode. But yes, so he like was shown this photo a couple of years later when he was like a young boy, and like the mom said he just recoiled physically like into himself in horror at it.
wow.
So
That sounds fake.
yeah, I mean, you know, this is what the mother said.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a Monday morning quarterback situation going on right now.
Yeah, like, oh, I always knew.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so a lot of the early life stuff is going to be from the perspective of David, his brother, and like retellings of stuff from his mom to his brother. So, I mean, you got to think too, like she's going to blame everything in the world for what could
Take
happen
no
to Ted.
responsibility.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, everything but her. I just sent you all my baby pics.
Oh, I see this. Yeah. Okay. Block.
Dan just blocked Rob. So Ted was considered a
I'm also going to report you.
Perfect.
report him
Hey,
for
if
what?
do me a favor. If you're a listener of this show, please DM Dan as many pictures of my baby as you can.
Now, I've been on the internet for almost a decade at this point, and I have never blocked anyone.
Yeah.
But that is the fastest way for me to start.
Okay. DM pictures of go to my Instagram account at RobFox3 and start DMing Dan pictures of my baby.
You can do this.
Yeah.
I won't stop you.
Fucking blow that
Now-
inbox up.
I have no doubt they will follow through on this. Can't leave a review. Can't buy a T-shirt. Don't want to support the pod, but they will send me these photos.
Will.
There will be more people sending you photos than buy a T-shirt.
Yeah.
This week, I guarantee you that. So basically, though, after that, like he was a totally normal, healthy baby.
Right. Which
grew up
the
to
mom is full of shit.
Yeah, he grew up to 9, like totally well
A
adjusted.
demon jumped in him when he was 4 and then slept for 20 years.
Sounds like we
Shut the
already
fuck
found
up.
our Hitler of the episode.
Actually, the brother even said, like, too, he had a lot of compassion for small animals and caged animals because, like,
Yeah.
he was a kid.
He was a small caged animal.
Yeah, and like
Despite
also,
all of his rage.
So like nothing's really like pointing to this kid's going to be a psychopath. He's not doing anything weird.
I don't know why the mom's even back. She's not her fucking fault either.
Yeah, like,
I
it's-
wouldn't be like if a 50-year-old man is sending package bombs to random people, who his mom isn't jumping into my breath. Like I'm not like, all right, we got him.
Where'd the mom make the mistake
Yeah,
here?
let's find this bitch and figure out what's going on.
What did you do? You old bitch.
Right.
Like, who does
You
that?
old fucking bitch.
Yeah. You see what you did? I think that's every mother's worst fear.
Yeah.
Is that something will happen to the child or the child will do something and it will be all turned back to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a parent's worst fear, I guess.
Oh, God. Joel just sent me a photo of your baby.
Sick. Thanks, Joel.
We're already off to a hot start.
Episode's not even out.
So Ted was relocated to another suburb in Chicago.
Relocated?
Well, they moved.
Oh,
the family
okay.
moved.
That's
yeah.
a different.
Yes,
Those aren't synonyms,
No,
really.
They didn't strap a Hannibal Lecter mask to him and wheel him into the new school like the new guy. But he did go to a new school for junior high, and in 6th grade he was given an IQ test where he tested at 167, which is bananas high. That's
Okay.
like Einstein level high. So
No, I thought Einstein was not that smart in like elementary school.
okay, it's like
That's
Stephen Hawking high,
that's
whatever.
a myth.
Yeah,
That's like George Washington chopping down a cherry tree.
Well,
and then
that-
being like, I can't tell a lie.
Now you're just ruining history for me at this point.
Yeah, George Washington did lie though, because he was like, "Yeah, you might be free one day," to his employees,
yikes.
but
That's
they weren't.
he told a big one there.
Yeah,
He told a non-truth.
I think it was after Martha died, which is such a dick move because you're like, yeah, you got to take care of her. Like, I'll definitely die first, but you got to take care of her for a little bit, and then you can go.
And then she dies, and you're like,
And then they didn't. I think a lot of them were not freed.
yeah, rough. That's rough, man. So when he got to 6th grade and got tested, they immediately bumped him up a class to 7th grade.
Okay.
And they said this is like a real pivotal moment for him. He was like a little class leader, was very social before that when he was with his peers. All the older kids bullied the shit out of him when he got up a grade.
That's a rough fucking age to have to deal with older kids.
So you go from 10 to 11 to 12 to 13.
Yeah.
Really fast. And those kids are the worst. I mean, if you've ever been in middle school, you know those kids are awful by and large.
People really, I think in popular media, it's really popular to be like high school bullies and like this mean senior. No, man, it's junior high. That's where the real bullying is.
Yeah,
It's
the
like
bullying is,
junior high.
yeah, because everyone's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And everyone's trying to establish where they are in the hierarchy of their classmates. And so
Yeah.
it's like a prison yard.
Yeah.
You're trying to take down top dog or at least not be the bottom one.
For sure. I would equate like my high school days, especially because I went to an all guys school, of like if people were a dick to me or talk shit, it was more like a fraternity situation. Do you know what I mean? Where someone was just like being a dick.
Yeah.
You know, but they didn't really care. Like it wasn't like really fucking malicious.
Yeah.
Whereas like junior high, grade school, whatever, that was where shit was like really fucking.
Yeah, it got really personal in middle school, but I feel like in high school it was always almost exclusively over girls. If there was like a fight or something like that.
Wouldn't know. Only guys at my school.
Well, yeah, that was it for me. I didn't really like, there weren't any other fights of like, you're a bitch.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna fight
if you tested anybody's manhood, it was kind of on site.
Yeah.
We were very secure people in Delco.
But
I'm gonna say I understand that might have been a different story for the gentleman in the chain at the table.
fair enough. As he moved into high school, Ted didn't do himself any favors with bullies. He was involved in a wide array of academic clubs, but he became specifically interested in math, and he joined a group of students called the Briefcase Boys. Do you want to know why they're called that?
Yes, please.
They brought briefcases to school.
Yeah,
Like fucking
I was
nerds.
almost gonna chastise you for victim blaming, but might as well just walk around with a target on your back.
Yeah, it's a pretty big red flag. There's always one kid in every high school that would wear a full-blown suit.
Yeah, dude. I know. There's always that kid. He wears
Why does that
business
exist?
casual clothes.
Why does everyone have that person?
I don't know. Like, he's just like, I'm so tired. I don't fit in with kids, so I'm going to just become an adult, but also make myself even worse, like, to these kids.
We were all forced to dress business casual because we had a dress code.
We also had a dress code, but he went full-blown suit. We just had to wear
suit is fucked.
We just went polo.
Yeah. You wear a collar or something.
Yeah, we needed a
Did you go
collar.
to public school?
Yeah,
And you had a dress code?
we had a dress code.
Did you have to wear a collar?
Had to wear a collar.
I
Wow,
wore,
I didn't know that.
And we had to wear shorts with not too many pockets
Yeah,
because
no cargo shorts.
No cargo
Put a
shorts
gun
because
in
of
there.
weapons.
Yeah.
Man, I went to school. I wore just T-shirts, shorts, and flip-flops every day. That's
Yep.
all I did.
I had to wear a collared shirt. Had to wear just like, I guess, Dickie shorts or like I don't know, like regular fraternity type khaki shorts
Right.
or something. And then we wear like loafers. So
Look at you.
Wow.
Wow.
proud as fuck from day one.
There
Yeah.
you go, man. I didn't know Delco was so damn fratty.
Right.
Yeah, dude, that's cool.
It was to I believe prevent like gang violence. And,
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I mean, especially with like rougher schools, which I'm assuming yours might have been from the
Ridley,
stories.
no, not so much in Delco. It was kind of I wouldn't say we were
Like
like
average school.
Yeah, we were like upper middle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I always feel like uniforms are probably a good call for gang violence.
Like
so
we
just
were in Upper Darby. Okay,
I don't know what that means, but
that's
I
where
assume,
Tina Fey went.
I don't know what that. I don't know. Was it bad? Was it the school that? What's it called?
Upper
based off of?
Darby is where that woman got raped on the SEPTA bus or the train.
While people filmed it.
Why 2 people filmed it or something?
That's fucking horrifying. I'm going to get back to the show now.
Yeah, let's go back to the fun stuff.
Yeah, the fun stuff like the Unabomber. This is somehow more fun to me than that story. So yeah, Ted realized that his chances weren't looking too good of surviving high school with all the mockery he got. So he skipped 11th grade and took social studies classes and shit in the summer and graduated high school at 15 years old.
Okay.
He got a full academic scholarship to Harvard and he went to Harvard before he got his driver's license.
God damn.
So he's brilliant. The kid's really smart. So while attending Harvard, Ted was viewed as incredibly intelligent, but again, very reserved, just like high school. While studying mathematics in his second year, however, Ted became part of a study led by Harvard psychologist Henry Murray. Framed as a study where students would debate their beliefs and aspirations with peers, it became very obvious that this study was anything but about spirited debate. And so what we're going to talk about here, we've actually covered before in the MK Ultra episode.
Okay.
The study is now known to be a study in psychological deconstruction. The experiment was characterized as a purposefully brutal psychology experiment intended to break down the mental narrative of the self and cause severe stress in the individual undergoing it. So this entire thing was to make people break.
Okay.
It consisted of Ted submitting essays on his personal beliefs, then having someone anonymously be given the essay, or an anonymous person is given the essay, and then they just sit there and berate him for an hour about his belief systems. They use personal attacks. They call him names. They just basically tell him he's the dumbest motherfucker that's ever lived. He's a pussy for believing the way he does, and he should just fucking end it.
No.
Like, dude, wait, they put him on Twitter?
Yeah, that actually sounds very similar.
That's my life.
It's very similar to one of my final classes at UCF for film school. The head of the film department, it was a grade based completely off one paper. He just disagreed with everything I said. Gave me a D-. I almost failed out of UCF almost didn't graduate on time because he gave me a D-. I got my revenge though. He ended up going to jail for child pornography. So who's winning?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like you just didn't make the type of movie he liked.
Yeah, it seems
Yeah.
like he was into one particular kind of movie. You should have went down the Roman Polanski route.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was for sure a big Roman guy.
Yeah, bet he mirrored a lot of his life choices off of that guy.
Seems that way.
But yeah, so Ted went through this process. They would like monitor his anger and rage reactions too.
That's a hilarious study.
No, it's
Also
insane.
because if a stranger was doing that to me, I'd just be like, all right, cool.
They must have framed it in a way that it was like, this person's brilliant, or like some Harvard person or something like
Right.
that. Yeah.
So it's like if they're like, hey, Rob, write a script and we'll see, we're going to rate it. And then like they had like, this is a guy who like writes for South Park, your favorite show.
yeah.
And then they come in and they're just like, you fucking piece of shit.
This is vile.
good,
Like, this is
good
yeah.
Lord, you are garbage. Kill yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. So he went every week to do this for 3 years straight.
So he really was just like exposed. This is just the internet.
Yeah.
Like he was just forced to have an internet conversation before anyone knew what an internet conversation was.
They got it right real early.
Yeah.
Like they were just, basically everyone goes through this now on Twitter. If you have a belief that may not be the least bit mainstream, like you get fucking dragged for just having an opinion.
Yeah.
And you're not given the opportunity to change your mind or like change. It looks like you look weaker if you get new information and then change your opinion somehow, which is how you're supposed to form opinions.
No, you get ratioed.
Sick.
Or dunked on.
Yeah.
Dunked. Everyone. The worst part about internet dunking is that everyone's dunking on like a little Tykes hoop. You know what I mean? They find the lowest rim possible to dunk on.
But it's slam ball. You have a trampoline.
It's a slam ball with a little Tykes hoop. Like no one's dunking on a 10-foot rim.
I'm sorry, slam ball with a little Tykes hoop would actually be really hard. Because think how high you get, and you got to come back down just right to slam it on the little Tykes hoop. You can't jump trampoline
I think it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
A trampoline on a little Tykes hoop. You know how far up you're going to be? Those things are like 2 feet high.
You just hold on to the ball until you get right back down near it.
I feel like that's a good way to just shatter your ankles, though.
Well,
like
this is all hypothetical nonsense.
Well, I broke my nose playing slam ball when I was like in 5th grade or 6th grade.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you go right face first into the backboard?
No. Fucking face went into the springs of the trampoline, and then my buddy's knee went right into my head.
Ooh.
And just like kind of
You got like curb stomped on a trampoline.
Yeah.
Everything about your childhood is terrifying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway.
Shouts to Pat Croce for slam ball.
A lot of people believe this study was a CIA study in mind control for enemy operatives that are captured or just general population control via the MK Ultra experiment. That's where it kind of comes back to.
Feels more useful for population control than fucking with an enemy operative. Like, what are you going to tell a communist?
You're going to have them for 3 years in a room?
Yeah, like you're already...
Write me an essay.
You're already an American. Like, what are you going to get in there and be like, you fucking suck dick for liking communism. Fuck you. He'd be like, yeah, I know. I'm a Soviet. You're the CIA. You're an American. What else would you say to me?
Yeah. But if it's a person with any sort of ideology that might sympathize with some of those pieces, it could be very easily utilized. Yeah. So he ended up graduating in 1962. So I believe he's 20 years old at this point with a 3.12 in mathematics.
Bet he's a total virgin.
Dude, such a V. And he decided to pursue his PhD at Michigan from 1964 to 1967.
Go Wolverines.
Big Blue.
Yeah. So here's a weird one. I don't know how this relates to anything else in the story, but it's so fucking weird I couldn't not put it in.
Perfect.
For a period of several weeks in 1966, during his last year at Michigan, Kasinski experienced intense sexual fantasies of being a female and decided to undergo gender transition. He arranged to meet with a psychiatrist, but changed his mind in the waiting room and did not disclose his reason for making the appointment. Afterwards, enraged, he considered killing the psychiatrist and others and other people whom he hated. Kasinski described this episode as a major turning point in his life. He said, I felt disgusted about my uncontrolled sexual cravings and what they almost led me to do. I felt humiliated, and I violently hated the psychiatrist. Just then, there came a major turning point in my life. Like a phoenix, I burst from the ashes of my despair to a glorious new hope.
Also a red flag. When someone describes themselves as a phoenix,
it's very incendiary.
Yeah, good things aren't going to follow.
Yeah.
Now, does Michigan claim him as a famous alumni?
I don't know if they do.
Is he on the site?
But he did try to virtually attend the class reunion of Harvard when he was in jail for his class year. And he put down occupation prisoner and awards 8 consecutive life sentences as 8 separate awards.
Sick.
Yeah.
That is actually an SNL sketch with Will Ferrell. He shows up to the Harvard reunion.
Oh, that's amazing. Because he did submit an application for it, I believe. Yeah. I got to go back and watch that. This is so weird to me because he's like, I'm going to kill the psychiatrist. It's like, you didn't even meet with the psychiatrist.
Right. And also, wasn't the psychiatrist going to potentially help him?
Yeah, I just don't understand.
Either be like, yeah, go down that path, or I don't think you need it. What?
I couldn't dive deeper into this part really because it's just I don't really care. It doesn't do much for the story for me or talk about what really influenced him.
Right.
As much as the structure of what he went through at Harvard or his academia or his time off the grid.
His mind torture at Harvard.
Yeah, basically his mind torture at Harvard. But Kasinski apparently wanted to be a woman for a little bit, and it was that intensely he wanted to murder everybody over it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know where that plays, but I had to talk about it.
That was just really all that is that might have flipped the murder switch in him.
It could have, yeah. I mean, I can imagine that having that kind of general, God, tread lightly here, but confusion about what your actual, like your sexual identity is can be pretty fucking infuriating, like enraging even.
Yeah.
But I think he's blaming the psychiatrist for nothing. I don't understand why. I don't know. Like,
don't know what that is.
I don't know where the hate's coming from an internal place, and he's just directing it at whoever.
Right.
He doesn't focus his hate to specific groups until a little bit later on. But I think it's the first, like, maybe you're right. Maybe it is that evil switch, that hate switch kind of flips right then.
Self-confident people don't send package bombs.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or
that's a sign in my kitchen.
It's right next to the Live, Laugh, Love sign. So
and all he had to do was play a cover of Wagon Wheel.
What?
And it would have solved all of his problems.
I don't understand.
Like the lead singer of Against Me.
I have no idea
what is happening.
Never mind. We'll just move past.
Okay.
No, we're not doing a golden circle joke here.
No, that one's over my head too. I'm sorry, Dan. He did win a prize for his dissertation that got him his PhD, and then he was quickly moved to an acting associate professor at UCal Berkeley in late 1967. He was then quickly promoted to a full-time assistant professor, which is like a tenure track there.
Yeah.
In early 1968, so less than a year, he's already on tenure track at Berkeley, which is, I mean, that's like being at a GE or a fucking. I don't know, Dell or what, I don't know. It's like the Fortune 500 of academia.
Making a lot of money at a really good fucking school, yeah.
But yeah, he suddenly resigned, like immediately after that, after he got that promotion.
Okay.
He just said, nah, I'm out. He left abruptly. They didn't know why. He never left a reason. He just said, I quit. So
wanted to follow his dreams.
Yeah, and that he did. So this is where we're going to get to Montana.
Okay.
Basically. So he goes back to his parents in Chicago for 2 years, and then he decides to move out to Lincoln, Montana, where he had built a cabin. I guess he was going up from Chicago.
Going back and forth.
Just building a
cutting
cabin.
Down a tree at a time.
Yeah. His entire goal was to live a simple life, and his cabin had no electricity or running water. But this is something I thought was funny too, he made money by doing odd jobs in town, but he was also financed by his parents.
So his parents were paying for him to live off the grid?
Yeah, basically.
To fucking eat, pray, love?
Yeah, he was doing the work out there, as if you would say. He's doing the off-the-grid stuff. He's learning how to live off the land and off his parents' bank.
I feel bad for his dad. Comes over from Poland after World War II.
Yeah.
Fucking just cranking out shitty sausages for a living.
It just, honestly, it sounds like he was just born before, like he was ahead of his time. If he was born kind of currently, he would have been fine. He would have been...
Be an influencer.
Yeah, he would have been up to date with internet culture.
Right now.
Yeah.
He might not be talking at Alpha.
He'd be accepted in the trans community.
He would definitely be on Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
He would 100% be on Joe Rogan.
He'd be really into crypto.
He'd be living in a tiny house.
He'd be very much into crypto. He'd be probably full body autonomy rights. He'd be a weird one, man. You can't peg this dude down, and we'll get way more into that because like none of his philosophy really fits. He wouldn't be in a party,
right.
He would be very on his own island of politics. But so while he was out there, he's learning more about living off the land. He dedicated his time to studying sociology and political philosophy. And while learning to become more self-sufficient, one of his main influences became the French philosopher and Christian anarchist Jacques Ellul. And I want to dive into Jacques Ellul for just a moment because this actually plays back to what I learned in school.
Now, is that just French Ja Rule?
Yes. What? I can't do it. Yeah.
Same guy.
Nah, man.
Jacques Ellul?
Jacques Ellul, so his main thing is Christian anarchism. And Christian anarchism is...
Those are the two words I never thought I'd hear slapped together.
Just wait till you hear about Christian atheism.
Okay.
Which is even... Take a stab at Christian anarchism.
Well, for me, all it sounds like is a terrible band.
Yeah.
Right, you know what I mean? Like metal... Like Christian rock metal. Christian metal rock.
Christian death metal was always my favorite genre, not because of the music, but because of what happened between songs.
Yeah.
They'd be like, and they'd stop and they'd be like, Jesus loves y'all.
Yeah.
And then just right back to screaming. It's like, man, the juxtaposition of this, which is hilarious.
Look, there's nothing more metal than getting crucified, so...
I mean, the Bible's pretty fucking metal.
The Bible's pretty metal.
Yeah, there's a lot of times God's just like, man, fuck these kids.
Pillars of salt.
Yeah. Seriously, though.
Don't look back.
So Christian anarchism, don't look back at it.
Not to victim blame, but she was warned.
She was told not to
She
do
was
that.
warned.
Yeah.
I want you guys. I want someone to cut that without any context. Not to victim. Just me saying not to victim blame, but she was warned.
How many? Dude,
And
you're
then
gonna
just put that somewhere.
You're gonna have a hell of a 2022 when all these single cuts you request
I know,
get
right?
spaced out. I forget what the
no
other
one's
one
gonna
was.
believe me when I'm like, I was talking about Lot's wife.
Yeah, there was one where it was. I believe "fuck the troops" is also one you said to be isolated.
Yeah.
Completely not what you would think he meant.
Right.
But
To be fair, that hits both political sides, though. Fuck the troops, and she was warned.
Also, the easiest way out of a relationship.
What?
If he just didn't tell her.
Oh yeah, Lot was over it.
Lot's like, I need to find a way to get out of this
he's running. He's like, "Oh shit, look at that!"
Can I tell you, as a real quick aside, a movie line I'll never forget from a terrible film. There was, do you remember back in the 90s when TNT was making a lot of like Bible movies? They made one about Abraham.
No, I don't remember.
Okay,
that.
so they made one about Abraham. He remembers. Ross remembers. And fucking at one point, like Abraham's is like gonna go to sleep. They're in Sodom or Gomorrah or something. Like he's gonna sleep, and he's visiting his cousin Lot. And it's like kind of a party, kind of a festive situation. And Abraham's basically like, I'm going to bed. And Lot's like, literally, this is the line that I'll never fucking forget. He's like, "You're not going to the orgy?" Like, as a fucking 9-year-old, that stood out to me as the dumbest shit I had ever heard.
I mean, to be fair, it's pretty on brand for a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone in Sodom.
Although he didn't let him fuck that angel, so
No, that was the one good thing Lot did.
yeah.
He offered his daughter. I mean, instead
That's
of
true.
the
He didn't
angel-
take orgy off the table.
He was like, "Listen,
just
guys,
switched
I
the
get
plate.
it. I want to fuck the angels too. Have my
We
kid.
all would have fucked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just take my daughter.
Yeah, Lot's a real ace. Anyway, Christian anarchism is the notion that at best, man's laws enforced by nation states are redundant, and at worst, they are adversarial to the divine law of God through Christianity.
Those are just words.
No, it makes sense. Like,
I don't know what you just said.
God's divine law is the most important law. It's the highest law. And anarchism, right, Dan, is the being anti any establishment made by man, any government.
Not following.
Okay, I'll continue then. So the notion stems from the idea that nation states are the vehicle for most violence in the world, and that religion is just used as an excuse. So how people always say, "Oh, religion, it's the seed of all evil."
Right.
And he's like, "Fuck that. No, it's not." Assholes in governments.
I agree with
It's
that.
a pretty legitimate argument.
That's
it's like
100% true.
yeah. No, I mean, like, come on. They crucified Jesus, right? And then pretty soon after, they're like, actually, this really works well for us because all of you guys are complying.
Yeah.
Now, because you have this whole other afterlife you get to worry about and you're getting told, let's make that the religion.
It's literally just an excuse.
It's an excuse. Yeah.
They would find another one.
Yeah. Religion is the easiest excuse to do terrible things.
Yeah, just the lowest hanging fruit.
Right. And it's a way to make people do things without really questioning it if it's in the name of God. But it's not. Like, people aren't really usually, I mean, you got to go pretty far. I don't know, man. I don't want to say, like, it doesn't happen, because it does. People do truly believe things and kill people over it. Mm-hmm. But I think, by and large, nation states do abuse religion as a lazy way to control people.
I would say the most common thing people kill each other over that they actually believe in is sports. It's just like a Bama fan shooting an Auburn fan.
That actually comes up. Sports being a...
oh, yeah. I actually remember that part of his manifesto.
Yeah, he's because we get caught in these... what is it, like surrogate activities to get divinity back to us in a way. It's like we're trying to recreate that. Yeah. But anyway.
Was he a Bear fan?
You know what? Maybe that's why he was so angry. Cubbies never won it while he was alive.
They won while he was alive. While he was killing.
Yeah. Lowell also states that the nation state only serves efficiency and growth of capital through totality of means of production. So basically saying, like, all this to say, basically,
this guy's a fucking commie.
He's not. That's the thing too. Like, it's kind of weird. He's a Luddite, so he's anti-technology because he thinks that eventually, like, technology is going to be served by humans, and technology isn't serving humans. It's an original intent, and because of the development of this technology, it's dictating our policy, and we're not regulating it to benefit humans. Yeah, which there's an argument to be said there. I mean, like, in development, I mean, people are dictating a lot more policy based around technology now, and we're letting things become rapidly efficient, which is great for bottom line, but also it's at the cost of human life sometimes too. Yeah. There's a balance, right? this is an extreme one. I don't prescribe to this belief system, but I can see where he's coming from, at least.
Yeah.
And this was written in like the mid 1800s. Okay. So this is a pretty early example of
somebody experiencing the Industrial Revolution, basically.
Yeah, right. And not like think about this kind of mentality in the 1800s versus what they would think right now.
Yeah.
Like social media, fucking everything's automated. Everything's like, a lot of people are doing just meaningless, for the most part, computer tasks.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are getting paid money just to kind
We're
of...
all button pushers.
We're data entry, right? Like a lot of careers are that.
Yeah.
So the key takeaway, though, is that Ellul was anti-violence, as violence is a tool of establishments, and anarchy is the total opposite of man-made establishment. So the Christian thing actually plays out because he is anti-violence.
Right.
He bases his beliefs off of Jesus Christ, who would not hurt people.
So this is where Ted kind of diverged.
He takes another turn with it.
Yeah. He was like, I like most of this.
So he was like, man, I read this guy and it was everything I'd ever thought I would ever think. And he'd already written it out. So he, in 1975, somewhere, decided to begin committing arson and other acts of vandalism, as well as setting up booby traps on the developments that were beginning to encroach on his land in Montana.
So he read everything and liked all of it except for that one part about the violence.
His manifesto is actually influenced by maybe 3 people, mostly Jacques Ellul.
Yeah.
And it almost reads like Jacques Ellul, except for violence is necessary.
Yeah.
It's a necessary means to an end to establish peace, which is everyone's argument ever.
Pretty much.
In establishing government, right? That's from
shit don't change.
Exactly. That's the shit don't change. That's Machiavelli. That's Karl Marx.
Right.
That's anyone that has like a sweeping understanding of how to implement a government knows that it's probably going to start with bloody revolution to overturn the existing one.
That's Fight Club.
That is Fight Club.
Starship Troopers.
Yeah, you don't talk about it at first. You got to let it grow, and then you start Project Mayhem. That's exactly what he did.
Also just sounds like he was stealing other people's stuff for his manifesto.
Yeah, totally.
Just seems like he was a hack.
Real copy paster.
Yeah.
He might have been. So he's like blowing up all these developments around his place and, gaining more disdain. And it eventually comes to a head in 1983 upon seeing one of his favorite places get destroyed. It was a ravine and a waterfall 2 miles from his cabin. This is a quote from Ted Kasinski. That was the best spot until the summer of 1983. That summer, there were too many people around my cabin, so I decided I needed some peace. I went back to the plateau, and when I got there, I found that they had put a road right through the middle of it. You can't imagine how upset I was. It was from that point on I decided that rather than trying to acquire further wilderness skills, I would work on getting back at the system and getting my revenge. So...
By sending package bombs to strangers.
By being bad at mailing letters.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? I don't think he started with humans. You know who he probably had it out for first? Beavers. Just ruining the flow.
Nature's industrialists?
Yeah. I bet he blew up a bunch of beavers.
What if he's just like crawling into a beaver dam and murdering entire families?
Well, you'd probably leave out a fake log, a dummy log. Thanks, man. So this right around, we get some bombs in 1978, but he really expresses how much he hates the world in 1983 and decides to go on it. He upticks his shit.
Okay.
The bombings start in 1978, but they're pretty far apart.
Bombings?
The Unabombings.
So the package bombs.
The package bombs start in 1978.
Yeah, he's pretty far removed from cocaine. Not a whole lot of packages getting up there in Montana.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah, he was never
He never really got to fully experience the 80s.
No. He was doing it completely different, man. He was a dork, an isolationist.
Square.
Had no friends.
Didn't do drugs.
Yeah. I mean, just total nerd.
But what really caused it was before he was making memories, he was alone for a couple months.
So his mom says.
That's what did.
That's the lazy excuse, right?
That's what fucking did
it might be the brain-breaking experiment that he went through at Harvard.
Right.
Or, just being moved up. Or, a lot of people go through similar circumstances and don't bomb shit.
It was just high school and college.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't think that's an excuse, though, for violence. That's the one thing.
No. There's a difference between trying to find an explanation and trying to find and making an excuse.
Right. I really want to be clear about that. We're finding an explanation for why this probably happened and what kind of pushed him into it.
Oh, I want to be clear that I'm excusing him.
Oh, okay. So you're standing Ted
But
Kasinski.
I excuse him because he's Polish. And I just think he was bad at mailing letters.
He knows not what he did.
Yeah.
So between 1978 and 1995, Kasinski mailed or hand-delivered a series of increasingly sophisticated bombs that cumulatively killed 3 people and injured 23 others. The first bomb was directed at Buckley Crist, a professor of materials engineering at Northwestern University. The package was returned to sender to Crist, but he doesn't remember ever sending anything. The male officer, Terry Marker, opened the package, which exploded and caused minor injuries. Kasinski's second bomb was sent nearly 1 year after the first one, so these are really spaced out at first. Again to Northwestern University, the bomb was concealed in a cigar box, and it was left on a table, and it caused injuries to the student, John Harris, who opened it.
Kind of a shame he didn't take out the journalism school.
He gets at some journalists.
Hey-oo.
Yeah. Actually, no, it's more ad execs, but we'll get to that too. The next 2 bombs.
We might not have Darren Ravel if he sent it to the right school, you know?
That would be sad. I don't know.
But then we wouldn't have that video of Darren Ravel running.
Who's Darren Ravel?
We also wouldn't have the video of the very, very high definition video of Kennedy getting his head blown off on Twitter.
Is that from Darren Ravel?
He posted that on
sick.
The day of the assassination, yes.
R.I.P.
It's relevant. Who's Darren Ravel?
He's a very big social media presence.
I don't
from
know.
He's
Northwestern.
just like a sports journalist.
He's a nerd. He probably would have got along with Ted.
There's some people that do get along with Ted, or did. The next 2 bombs are what drew FBI attention, though. The first was placed on a Boeing 727 from Chicago to Washington. A faulty mechanism caused it to smoke, alerting pilots to evacuate the plane. If it would have detonated, it more than likely would have completely obliterated the plane. He made it to evaporate the plane. It was humongous. He got it to be mailed and activate once it was raising altitude.
Damn. Also, what was it? Like a UPS plane or something, or so it wasn't a passenger plane.
It might have been. I didn't check on that, but it was.
It's like Tom Hanks's plane in Castaway.
Yeah, either he put it in luggage and got it on the plane, or I don't think he would have done that though, because you would have had to have a ticket for it.
Yeah,
I could have dove deeper into that one, but at the end of the day, they found it and got everyone off the plane.
Speaking of Castaway, what was his most useful package that he was able to recover?
The volleyball.
Was it the volleyball or was it the ice skate?
I was going to say whatever got that abscess tooth out of his fucking face.
It was the ice skate.
Yeah, the ice skate,
it
definitely.
was the volleyball.
He also could have sharpened the ice skate to use as a weapon.
It was the volleyball because your mental health is just as important as your physical health.
I'm sorry, but
you're literally starving to
You're
death
going to die if you let that abscess rot. Like, if he had to pick between the ice skate and Wilson, he could have made another friend.
Okay, well, no.
Could have made a rock friend.
Nope,
Yeah.
I disagree. Mental health is more important. Like, if I had to choose between chemotherapy and a psychiatrist's office, like a same day, same appointment, not getting.
Yeah, you get your mentals right, cancer's gone.
Yep. Mind over matter.
That's
and
right.
By matter, I mean a softball-sized tumor.
That's right. So remember, if you can't believe your way into being cancer-free, it's your fault.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what Rob
You
is
don't
saying.
want it enough.
You don't want it enough. I agree with that.
Magical thinking is the only way to succeed in this world.
Yes.
And if you don't believe that, you are a heathen.
Yes. I'm excited for that to become a de facto religion sooner rather than
Magical
later.
thinking? It's already here.
Yeah,
What are you talking
It's
about?
called Tony Robbins.
It's called Tony Robbins. It's called The Secret. It's called most fucking religions, or mindfulness for that matter, or meditation.
AlphaCon.
It's
AlphaCon. That's what it's just like, I just want Rise and Grind to be religion.
Do you know how fucking
On it every day.
exhausting it is hearing the word manifest so much in social media now? You got to manifest what you want in your life. And it's like, dude, what the?
Yeah, Rob, you got to get
What
up
the fuck are
before
you talking
Jocko,
about?
okay?
Yeah.
You got to get up before Wahlberg. You got to get up before The Rock.
But you also got to go to sleep late. You only need 2 hours of sleep.
No, I think Wahlberg goes to sleep at like 7:30 every day. That seems miserable.
That sounds. And he wakes up at like 3:30.
Like 2.
I've seen his schedule. It's
What?
pretty boring. Yeah.
That's just picking a sleep window. That's not even waking up early.
No.
Just that's just a sleep window. That's all that is. It could be at any time.
I'm glad you said that because waking up early to me means you're forgoing sleep.
Right.
Somewhat.
Right.
And fuck you for like, I wake up at 4 a.m. every day because it's like you go to bed at 9.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you got 7 hours of
Yeah,
sleep
you get the
that
proper
night.
amount of sleep.
Yeah.
Right.
You're not
Shut
a
the
hero.
fuck up.
You're just you get tired early, bro. Like,
Yeah. It's fucking dumb.
You just don't watch sports.
so another thing, the second bomb that got the FBI's attention was a bomb mailed to Percy Wood, president of the United Airlines. So,
what do you have against the airlines? God damn.
technology.
Oh, flying was
That was a big one.
sin.
Yeah, that's right, man. God didn't give us wings.
That's true.
My
Yeah.
pull downs do.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Get those lights popping.
Grind, baby. Grind.
He sent one bomb embedded in a copy of Sloan Wilson's novel Ice Brothers, and after that one, the FBI was like, okay, Kasinski's crime involved a theme of nature, trees, and wood. They also noticed that he included bits of tree bark and branches in his bombs. He also selected...
As shrapnel or just as a calling card?
Shrapnel, calling card, both. Also, there was a little stamp, FC, that was in a lot of the metal parts.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter much. But they realized, too, that one of the targets was Percy Wood. Another one was Professor Leroy Wood, I believe at Northwestern as well.
Are they related?
I don't think they were.
Okay.
He was just finding people with, like, nature names, too. That's kind of his, like, motif.
Weird.
Because
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
The thing that fucking pissed him off the most starting 1975 was encroachment and development.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to live with nature. And
by killing people with nature names?
Well, he wanted to live with nature and people kept building up on where he was. He wanted to live away from people. He really just didn't like people.
Can I put on my 2005 college liberal hat real quick here?
Absolutely.
Too bad he didn't send one to George W. Bush.
Yeah, that would play in 2005.
Right? Yeah.
That's a good one. He's Hitler.
Everyone's Hitler.
Yeah, everyone, man. He would send 10 more bombs until his final two.
Were you in college in 2005?
I was.
Jesus Christ.
I was a freshman in high school.
No, we were in 8th grade.
2005?
Yeah. We graduated 8th grade.
You're
I
right.
graduated.
Well, so you were in both high school and 8th grade in 2005.
Yes.
I was a freshman in high school.
Yeah.
Anyway, he would send 10 more bombs across the 70s or across the 80s, and then the final two were in the 90s. One was in 1994. It was sent to an ad executive cleaning up the image of Exxon after the Exxon Valdez oil spill. And then this was followed in 1995 with the final bomb being sent to the president of a timber lobbying group in California. Both of these resulted in deaths.
Of the targets?
Yeah, so only 3 people ever died.
Okay.
And, like, a lot of people were injured. It's all very bad, but the last 2 did result in deaths.
How many people were badly maimed?
He injured 23 people.
He got on point, though, towards the end. He's like, he started to get down to a science. He hit his targets.
No, he was definitely, like, starting to figure out exactly who he wanted to be blowing up, too. So this is going to lead us to the manifesto and the arrest.
The manifesto is fucking fascinating.
No, the manifesto, it's one, I've read a lot of it. There's parts.
Believe most of it?
I swear to God, dude, if you read this thing, like, it's really hard.
If you showed it to someone context free?
Yeah, they would be like, this is great.
Yeah.
It's the manifesto. The problem with the manifesto is that you have to preface it by saying, have you read the Unabomber's manifesto?
Right.
And it's called a manifesto.
We should do a little man on the streets here in Austin.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And just start reading the manifesto to people and be like, you agree with this?
Fuck that. Let's just show up to a political rally and start reading it word for word.
Because the problem is
literally, like, you know that scene in The Office when Dwight does like the Benito Mussolini speaking tactics or whatever without realizing it, and they're all like super into it.
Yeah.
Just do that, except instead of the body language and speaking tone, we just read his manifesto. But I don't even think.
But the manifesto in and of itself, by and large, is not problematic.
That's what I'm saying. You could show up to any political rally.
You gotta
and read
separate
that, and they'd be like, "Yeah."
Gotta separate the work from the artist.
Yes, I'm great at that.
Absolutely, I don't disagree. Actually, that's a very. You don't believe in that?
No.
You don't separate the art from the artist?
No.
So, like, I don't know, man. There's a lot of good work out there that's made by shitty people.
Most people are shitty.
I mean, like...
Well, most people are human.
Yeah, that's the point. I mean, granted, I can't, like... It's different between, like, stand-up obviously kind of ruins it when the person's a piece of shit because they're the one delivering it. But, I don't know, like a song?
That's true. I don't like Bin Laden's stand-up.
He's so bad at it.
It's not good.
Yeah.
What's the deal with these infidels?
What's the deal with airplanes?
Yeah.
Airline food makes you want to crash the thing, huh? Anyway, manifesto and arrest here. In 1995, Kasinski began reaching out to major news publishers with a demand to publish his 35,000-word essay named Industrial Society and Its Future.
That's so long, by the way.
Industrial Society and Its Future?
No, 35,000 words.
Oh, it's a huge essay.
That's a novel.
It's a manifesto.
Is it double space?
So,
well, Mein Kampf is pretty short.
An average like novel is like 50 to 80,000 words. So you're talking about like the first third to half of a novel.
Yeah. He said that if he got this published, he would halt all attacks. And while there was quite a bit of controversy on whether or not to publish it, the Attorney General recommended they do so for public safety reasons and to possibly ID.
So who
the
stepped
author.
up? Penguin?
That's a good question. So first of all, I just want to say Attorney General at the time is Janet Reno. Great track record with people like this so far.
Yeah.
Ends
Also-
up killing them all.
Yeah. Also, another great Will Ferrell character on Saturday Night Live.
He plays Janet Reno.
He played
too?
Janet Reno.
That's Will Ferrell, man. What a range. Like, I got to go back and watch some of those, dude. Dan, though, you said something about Penguin. The first person to offer publishing this was none other than Penthouse.
Okay.
And Ted Kasinski wrote back.
To be fair, it's incredible. That's incredible because Penthouse has like the greatest free speech case in Supreme Court history. So
People versus Larry Flynn or whatever.
Oh,
Flynn? Yeah.
you want to go back and watch something that's prescient, by the way, go watch the scene on YouTube of Edward Norton making his argument before the Supreme Court. And just listen to it. And you're like, was this written yesterday?
Yeah, right.
Like, was this written about now? It's fucking unbelievable.
Well, I mean, pornography throughout history has always been a step of the game.
Not
you know?
about porn. It's not about porn.
It's not about the porn, but I'm saying like they are always ahead of the game with technology, and they're
Yeah.
always the ones. They're the ones that are kind of like
They made VHS happen, like over Betamax.
they're making VR happen now.
Dude, when porn heard about VR, they had to have been like, get the Oculus in here now.
They are pushing society forward with technology.
They were probably the ones that spearheaded making the Oculus. Like, they probably threw a lot of money at that.
And
So
now we have the metaverse.
So Kasinski, when Penthouse said they would do it, wrote another letter saying, do not publish this in Penthouse. It needs to be in a better paper. And if you publish this in Penthouse and not a good newspaper, I'm going to plant another bomb.
Right.
So, like, that
Like,
was
I'll murder you if you do put this in Penthouse.
yeah, please do not put this in Penthouse. I want it to be taken seriously. So eventually it was published in September of 1995 by the Washington Post. Jeff Bezos' newspaper.
WAPO.
Not then.
Well,
No, not then.
we don't know.
Could have been.
We don't know what
He's
Bezos
a time
is doing
traveler.
these days.
Yeah.
Some quick points from the manifesto. I cannot begin to break this down completely, but here's a couple things that I liked or that might summarize it better.
No, just go back to you liked it.
I liked it.
Here's my favorite stuff.
Here's the big hitters for
Yeah.
me. So industrial society has led to an unfulfilling life and psychological stress on most people.
First off, let me rebut that point real quick.
Go for it.
Was he under the assumption that there was less psychological stress, say in feudal Europe?
I'm guessing, Rob, this is coming from the point of the wilderness man who got funded by his parents to live in the cabin.
Right.
This is pretty common.
That is some fucking my parents pay for my log cabin bullshit right there.
It kind of is.
Like,
yeah.
what?
It's like you were lacking fulfillment because you don't know what choice to make.
Right.
You don't know how to find fulfillment.
Right.
Not because, like,
What kind of psychological stress do you think someone is under when they're like, I don't know how to fulfill my life. What dreams should I chase? Versus, goddamn, I hope Vikings don't rape and murder my daughters today.
Sure, that's absolutely fair. I also would say that whenever people write manifestos specifically, they extrapolate the problems they have to all people.
Right.
It's never like, oh, I interviewed a bunch of people and found out that everyone's
something
bummed
simpler
out.
than that. Be like, I hope there's enough from the hunt for me to eat.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's, what is it? Food insecurity, right? That's what's called, I think. Food insecurity, water insecurity, all this shit. That was like, or maybe he would even consider that. He might actually, so this goes back to something we maybe talked about a couple weeks ago. I think it came up randomly maybe, about how when humans first started getting into towns and cities and stuff like that, prehistory, like before writing started, or even after writing started, like the Sumerians and stuff, there were people who farmed and lived in cities or around cities or whatever. But it's not like everyone moved to that lifestyle. There were still hunter-gatherers and stuff. And the hunter-gatherers were like, these people are doing it wrong. Fuck these people. And the city people were like, grow up.
Yeah.
Move to a fucking city.
Just settle down already.
Right. So this is tale as old as time.
Seriously.
In a way, it is. So like people thought that even when there was food insecurity and all that other stuff too. It's like, no, that's not the right way to live. That's an unnatural way to live. The way to live is to be nomadic and move around move around, blah blah blah.
There is no natural way to live. The only way to live is to live.
Right.
Yeah. You live in the way that lets you keep living.
Right.
Is the way.
I mean, there's still people arguing that we should be kind of hunter-gatherer, and his name's Liver King.
Who?
God, how do you not know who the Liver King is?
I don't know. Who
I don't know who the Liver King is.
Jesus
either.
Christ.
For whatever reason, I just
Is he at
pictured Shoe
AlphaCon?
Nice.
Is he at AlphaCon?
He's for sure going to be at AlphaCon.
He sounds like a
Let me
guy
just
that
show
would be
you
able-
a photo
Please
of Liver
do.
King.
Show me the Liver King.
Liver King here. Yeah, he's an absolute savage.
Oh yeah, look at that guy.
He eats like a lot of testicles and liver, obviously.
Oh, he's taking Orkine substance.
He's like carnivorous.
He's on steroids.
Orkine yeah, that guy's on roids, dude.
Like that guy's clearly on steroids.
No, dude, he's just eating a primal diet.
No, man, his delts just pop because he's fucking yoked.
Right,
Like, yeah,
right. He just
way
lifts
more than the
heavy
rest
ass
of his
weight,
body.
dude.
Yeah, dude. So
Simulates hunts.
he also,
Hope that guy gets eaten by an alligator.
dude, that would be an awesome way to go.
He
out
does
there.
suck. I will say that. He kind of, like, I wanted to like him, but it's just really hard. It's really hard to like the Liver King.
You know him enough.
That
to
name
talk about him.
alone is awful.
Why is he called the Liver King?
wanna stab him to
Stupid.
death.
Does
Eats
he
a lot
about
of
liver,
liver,
health?
dude.
Oh, he eats a lot of liver.
No, he's just taken after Doug Funny.
He hates liver and onions, and he loved liver and onions.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that sod.
the original Liver King.
No, he didn't want to eat those liver and onions,
But he
though.
did, and then he
loved
liked
them.
it.
Yeah. Hey, man, I like a good liver. Like, don't get me wrong. If it's prepared right, it's good. Same with gizzards.
I don't
like,
think I've ever had liver.
it's not bad. I mean, I've had more duck
Have you
liver
had
than
pate? Like
No.
Braunschweiger or anything like that?
No. Is it like duck liver?
Yeah, it's moosed like
I've never had
whipped
that, no.
duck liver. It's good. It's really good. Well, if we go to Lonesome Dove,
have a
Yeah,
We'll
Lonesome
get-
Dove.
we'll get
be able
some.
to do
Yeah,
that.
we'll get some.
Well, you are going to Lonesome Dove.
One way or another, we will get you some liver.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah. It's just who wins.
Who's paying for
and
it?
it's Jake.
I'm so handsome. No, I'm going to start my journey tomorrow.
Diet starts next week.
Nah, dude. I did.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to be on a diet. Like I said, you should get fatter.
Right. It's about because it's about attractiveness.
Now we're going to get into a mass acquisition competition. No, it's about, it is about attractiveness. Though.
Right.
That's right. And just wait until I start juicing.
Well, no, it's just, maybe people are into that.
Yeah. Do we have to have do we have to have sections? Like, should we have a total, a contest where it's like,
No, it's a simple vote.
Introduction. No,
It's
I
Jake
think-
or Dan.
no, but attractiveness isn't only
it's the eye
to the eye.
of the beholder.
It's also to the mind, Dan.
Yeah, I haven't fucked a lot of hilarious chicks I wasn't attracted to.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Okay. So back to the manifesto. Technology drives the development of our social systems and therefore turning our social systems to be more focused on efficiency. Basically, the end is that humans will genetically be altered to better suit the need for efficiency, and that they will need to be controlled 100%. The social system of industrialization and efficiency exists to have humans serve it and not the other way around how it should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're all slaves to society.
We're all slaves to society. Machines
Yawn.
are the worst.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
Ted Kasinski is a 16-year-old at a punk rock concert.
Yeah, he definitely would be into Death Cab for Cutie.
I think it's more of a System of a Down situation.
System of a Down for sure.
Yeah.
System of a Down for
Sounds
sure.
like he's
Rage Against
repeating
the Machine.
Yeah.
the Dead Flag Blues, really.
It is the very Dead Flag Blues.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Godspeed You Black Emperor is a super anarchist band. Like they're anarcho everything. Like they might not even be anarcho communist. Like I'm pretty sure they're anti completely. They might be anti-natal too. So it's a fun one to follow around.
Antinatal? No more birth?
Yeah.
Fuck.
I can't speak.
Cool.
I can't speak for them, but antinatalism is if you ever want.
No one should have any more babies?
Yeah. Actually, Thomas Ligotti, one of the forerunners of antinatalist philosophy, is one of the people that the showrunner of or the writer of True Detective ripped a bunch of shit from.
Oh, interesting.
Like a lot of that, Russ Cole, man, we're just
And that's why you only have one good season of TV.
Wait, so they're not even about climate change or anything? They just think humans should stop existing?
They think it was basically no one's choice to be conscious, and it was a misstep in evolution, and that the only way to fix it, no animal should be as conscious as we are.
Also, what a great time it would be if we could just run this planet dry with all of its resources.
We're the last generation for sure.
Yeah.
Let's just go bananas.
Drill, baby, drill.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It'd be a great time.
I mean, it is.
Whew.
It's great. Have you not enjoyed it?
Well, people are still having Babies.
Oh, I see what you mean from an antenatal perspective. It's like, no, we decided no more.
Yeah.
No
You're
more.
it.
Everyone, you fix
We're
everyone.
indulgent.
First off, ironically, what would happen is everyone would start fucking.
We would make so many babies because of that.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you'd have to have some sort of forced sterilization process.
No, literally, yes.
Yeah.
Everyone would get fixed and then bang constantly until they died.
Yeah. Most people would die during the banging, in the initial banging.
Or their plan A is plan B.
Plan
Classic.
B is to be on those tees.
The other two funny lines that I took away from this, just to point out where he leaned politically, he first really, a large section of the book is critiquing liberals.
Oh, yeah.
He
fucking
rips
hates
on
them.
liberals.
Yeah.
But to sum it all up really quick, he says they're over-socialized, whiny collectivists whose policy is driven by a sense of inferiority and victimhood, which fucking A. If that
Yeah.
is not the most...
Was that written yesterday?
Is that not the most precise criticism of modern liberalism, though? It's just like everyone has something they have to overcome all the time. It's
Yeah.
everyone else's fault. We're collectivists. We're overly social. We have to make sure everyone feels good. And that's going to dictate our policy more so than pragmatism sometimes.
Right.
Which
Sometimes.
I mean, a lot of times,
Yeah.
depending on, But I mean, yeah, I'd like look at, for instance, a lot of liberal tendencies are let's throw money at a problem, or like, it's just like we all need more money. Like we need to feel better. We need to be
Right.
repaired. We need to be made whole. And the only thing that's going to fix that for us is the government.
Right.
Really relying on the government to make yourself whole is a very liberal mindset.
Yeah.
Now, on the flip side, he rips on conservatives too. Modern conservatives.
Both sides get the smoke.
That's right, man. Ted Kasinski, dual wielding,
Yeah.
shooting from the hips, making no sense, but making some sense, which is important.
Making no friends.
Making zero friends, making a lot of sense about the problems of modern politics, and
Well,
offering no solution but to fucking blow it all
Right.
up.
Well, do you know what I agree with him on? You know what I'll say this. Do you know what I think he was right about?
Planes.
The stuff I agree with him on.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Like he was right about the stuff I agree with.
Right.
Yeah. But the other stuff he was wrong. Like the stuff I don't agree with, he was wrong.
That's a good critique
Yeah.
of.
Do you know what I mean?
I do. I get the point you're making.
Yeah.
Because it's a scary point you're making. It's like, well, how much of something do I have to agree with before I hand wave the entire manifesto too?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, it's mostly just people. I guarantee there are listeners that are like, well, he did nail that. But that other stuff that I don't agree with, he was wrong on.
yeah, I think
Like it's
well, I would agree with his pre. What did he say about conservatives?
Yeah.
They're fools who whine about the decay of traditional values, yet enthusiastically support progress and economic growth over everything. They use a lot of religion to.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, I know plenty of people who give way more of a shit about the bottom line of their company than the salvation of their families.
Right. Also,
but they parade around the salvation of their families.
If anyone could critique conservatives, it's Ted Kaczynski. Because that man wanted to live like it was 1802.
He wanted to live like it was 02.
Yeah.
Like in Montana,
Yeah.
dude. I mean,
So
yeah.
for him to be like, we need to conserve traditional, he's like, traditional what? From 1950?
Yeah.
When we were flying planes and shit?
Yeah, no,
Fuck
sir.
you.
No, sir.
Yeah.
We only have hang gliders here. Or whatever it was. That
He's actually even against riding horses.
He might
That's
be.
too far down the line.
Actually, that would be cruel to the horses, and we
Yeah,
know
he
he
was
likes
more of
animals.
a Flintstone kid growing up than he was a Jetson.
He was not a Jetson guy.
No.
he
No.
was not. And I mean,
he
again,
actually sent several packages to the Jetsons riders.
he shot them to the sky, hoping
they get it.
Yeah. So during the investigation, the FBI profile changed a bit, but at one point it fit the description of Ted, and Ted's brother David was already being urged by his wife to consider that his brother could be the Unabomber, which is like insane. It was that spot on. His wife's like, your brother's doing this.
All right, so here's the thing about that. There wasn't a lot going on in the 90s.
What are you talking about? Kurt Cobain died, dude. 94.
Yeah, whatever. There
Grunge, baby.
was like no danger to anyone in the
No,
90s.
it was one of the safest decades.
And so like people obsessed over these small things that definitely weren't going to happen to them, like a Unabomber.
Yeah.
Or something.
Or John Benet Ramsey's a perfect example.
Yeah.
God, who was the kid from Cuba?
Alien Gonzalez.
Dude, that shit was insane.
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate for
All
sure.
that stuff was like the biggest news of the decade because nothing else was happening.
Yeah.
Nothing else was happening. So my point being, how many wives said to their husbands,
Your weird friend or your brother who creeps me out is the Unabomber.
I think he's right.
But
that conversation had to happen like literally 10,000 times across the United States.
Right. Well, it would be a little bit more focused because the original profile did say that it was probably someone Ivy League educated in mathematics. That had a disdain for, I don't know, society. They called out the Luddite thing.
How did they figure out the Ivy League mathematics part?
It was something about the places he was hitting.
Yeah.
And like the way the bombs
movie
were built.
called Good Will Hunting came out,
Yeah.
What?
and that's how they figured it out.
Actually, if you didn't know this, the Unabomber sent every package in an apple crate.
What's your major?
And he was like, how do you like them apples?
Doesn't the professor in Good Will Hunting talk about Ted Kasinski?
The movie came out in '96, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like I think
it was like 97, but yeah.
It's a notable line where he's like, "Yeah, most brilliant person that ever came through this school. His name was Ted Kasinski. He was the Unabomber." Like, and it's an argument about like you got to use your brains for good,
Right. Can't just be brilliant.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for anybody. But so David was like, "All right, fine." Like the manifesto came out. I'm gonna go dig. He was like, "Some of this sounds way too familiar. I've heard this shit at family dinners."
Right.
So he goes to look.
Jeez, he's like, why is my Thanksgiving dinner published in the Washington Post?
Yeah.
God
Can you
damn
imagine
it.
like reading that? It's like, God damn it, Ted.
Yeah, fuck.
Like I knew we should have intervened. And
Also, by the way, I do hope that Ted Kaczynski is the smartest person to have ever attended Harvard.
might be.
Yeah.
I
You know
mean-
another terrorist that went to Harvard? Mark Zuckerberg.
Good one, Rob.
Thanks.
Getting those little, you got your 90s jab in, or I guess you're getting your mid 2000s jabs.
Yeah.
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 G-Dub,
Me and
Zuck.
No, Zuck's pretty relevant now.
He's a terrorist now.
Actually, he's more of a terrorist now than he was back then, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, he hired a what do you call it? Private investigator, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has him follow around his brother, dig up some more stuff, like old newspaper clippings where he's writing to like editors and shit. Like,
Finds him with
Yeah,
his wife.
this obviously wasn't his first letter to the editor.
No, he's sent a lot of shit out, and then he eventually through some back channels and family friends because he was trying to tell the FBI like, hey, like this might be my brother. I want you to look into him, but because of all the Janet Reno stuff too, he was really trying to make sure his brother wasn't going to get into a raid situation.
Yeah.
because he knew his brother would be violent, and also he just like Janet Reno's the AG, man.
Yeah.
he knows what's going to happen.
She kicks doors.
Yeah, that's it, man. She lights buildings on fire.
Yeah.
Or shoots them up with bullets. So they finally do get to a point where they do arrest him at his cabin, but it's kind of like, it's not like a whole ass raid
Yeah.
or anything like that. He eventually, at first his lawyers tried to get him to plead insanity and he refused it.
Well, also, I read that at one point, like they tried to use his manifesto as an insanity thing, and psychiatrists or psychologists or whatever were like, no, this reads like a sane person wrote this.
No, yeah, actually
Makes too much sense.
Yeah.
a lot of people, when that was happening, like people that were in academia and political theory were like, no. This is a well thought out. This is written like a very good graduate or doctoral candidate. And also, if you would have read anything by, I don't know, Alexander Payne or fucking Thoreau or anything like that, that reads like more of the rantings of a madman than this actually does.
Yeah.
Like it's
Thoreau was out in the woods forever too.
Yeah, it's not uncommon. It kind of goes hand in hand. Like a lot of big thinky pieces come from isolation. But I mean, instead of existentialism, he came up with, I'm going to bomb everything.
Yeah.
Because essentially the end goal of his manifesto was to use violence to overturn and allow people, well, it was
society.
it was to cause enough stress in technological society for it to collapse, and then people revert back to a hunter-gatherer, agrarian.
You know who I think
quite a hefty goal.
Do you know who
That's
I
an
think
insane
would have thanked him for that?
Who?
Pediatric cancer patients. They would have been like, thanks, Ted.
Yeah, and he probably
Glad you turned the lights off.
he probably would have argued, well, yeah, you have no place in this society.
Yeah.
Nature takes you.
You're useless.
He
Yeah,
also
then-
probably would have argued, oh, you wouldn't have had cancer if it wasn't for this society.
Then
So-
Iowa doesn't have that tradition where they wave to the hospital.
well, football.
He wasn't a big fan of sports.
Football is also super lame to Ted.
Yeah.
It's for pansies. Like, basically, he says everything we do is not an activity in enlightenment or spiritual development. Like, we do nothing but distract ourselves from our bland existence. Mm-hmm. So sports is like that, where we feel a connection to something that's not really that important at all, but it gives us that
So
camaraderie
fucking
feeling.
Neil deGrasse Tyson's just stealing his block right now.
What does Neil deGrasse Tyson do?
Says sports is a waste of time.
Yeah, dude, Neil deGrasse Tyson's such a dork, though. I mean, nice
Beat your
guy.
ass.
What?
He beat your ass.
Neil deGrasse Tyson probably could beat my ass. I don't care. Like,
I think he was like an all-state wrestler.
okay, cool, man. I get it. You like stars. Fucking sick, dude. I like stars too. That doesn't mean I can't like other things. You just like one thing more than anything else. That's him with this Ted Kasinski with math. Am I saying Neil deGrasse Tyson is the Unabomber or they're similar? No.
I'll say it.
Yeah, Rob will say it.
They're the same.
That's what Rob's for.
They're the same.
So anyway,
Think about it. Ted
Can't wait.
Kasinski. Ted Kasinski, bomber. The hot kid, wrestler, and bomber. Neil deGrasse Tyson,
Connecting dots.
wrestler.
Yeah.
Bomber question mark?
Yeah. Look at they're all. Why do they all have so much?
Constellation.
Where was he on
Connected.
9/11?
Where do they all have so much in common?
Where was he on 9/11?
Who?
Neil
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Makes you think.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know. Do you know? Anyway,
He likes stars. What's a star? An explosion. 9/11. Explosions.
It's actually the star is one of the largest explosions
Yeah.
you can even fathom.
yeah.
He loves
Was
explosions.
he too into explosions?
World may never know.
Makes you think. I'm just asking questions.
Yeah, I'm just asking questions.
Yeah.
We're all just asking questions.
That's what life is.
Hey, man, why do I get in trouble for talking about the Unabomber's manifesto at work? Have you read it?
Yeah.
It's not my fault it's good. It's not my fault it reads well. It's your fault for being such a fucking plebe. Anyway,
Open your mind.
just fucking try it once.
Yeah.
Like, smoke some weed and read that, bro.
Ted Kaczynski, you were right when you said earlier, though. Ted Kaczynski would 100% be on Rogan.
Oh, yeah. He would be, if he didn't bomb
Honestly,
people.
Rogan would have him on today.
Actually, probably. Yeah,
And
Rogan
be
would
like,
have him on.
and be like, I mean, there's a lot of overlap between Ted Kaczynski and Joe Rogan listeners.
Well, it's, you know, a lot of people would call it anarcho-primitivism
Right.
and what he was into, but he actually rejected that as well. He's like, no.
Who,
You-
Kaczynski?
Yeah, he's like, you can be agrarian. Like, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you figured out the line, Ted.
It stops.
yeah.
It stops at the very beginning of civilization.
So he fucking hates technology, but is for literally to this day the most important technological advancement in human history.
Well, see, that's where there's a difference, Rob, because
Okay.
he's not. He thought once those like simple machines and stuff got developed, that was it. Because like
No,
automation.
I'm just even talking about farming.
Oh,
Just remembering to put seeds in the ground every year.
well, no, he wouldn't be mad at that because that's nature in nature. But
It's literally not. That's literally not how nature was intended to work.
nature actually plants the stuff itself.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what squirrels do.
Yeah.
God,
That's
damn
for
it.
well, actually, squirrels now. Fuck squirrels, right? They're industrialists as well because they're hoarding resources.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get it.
Any
Capitalists.
small animals with tails.
Yeah. No,
Nature's
squirrels.
great capitalists.
Squirrels, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so early in his imprisonment, let me back up. They tried to use the manifesto as an excuse for insanity. He was like, fuck that, I'm not insane. The court was like, we're not letting you plead insane. So,
Right.
cool. We agree with you, not your lawyers. And everyone's like, cool, great. And he pleaded guilty, got 8 consecutive counts of life sentences. And
Where's he at?
let me pull that up real quick. He was put in the Colorado Supermax prison.
Yeah.
The famous one.
Yeah.
Where like
was it ADX or
everybody
something
is.
like that?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Go Wikipedia that, and it's like
Is Manson there?
Manson's
no,
dead.
Manson's dead.
Well, yeah, but
never
was he there?
He was
No.
never there.
But,
But dude, it's list. El Chapo's there right now. The Boston Bomber's there.
It makes
the
sense.
dude that Drake and Kanye are trying to get out of jail, who's like a
Yeah.
like admitted murderer.
It makes sense why it's there.
It's
You're
in the middle of
smack dab
nowhere.
in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the country. Like, how you running?
Well, and if you get out, you're probably gonna just die in the wilderness anyway.
Yeah. So
Except for Ted. Ted would probably be fine.
he would be really pissed off that they built a prison there.
Yeah.
He's like, God damn it.
That was my favorite valley.
That was my favorite field of nothing.
Yeah.
So early in his imprisonment, though, Kasinski befriended Ramzi Youssef. Do you know who that is?
I do not have time.
He was the one that perpetrated the 1993 World Trade Center bombing.
Oh, fun.
Another bomb guy.
Common ground.
Another bomb guy. And wait, his other best friend in prison was Timothy McVeigh.
Oh, yeah, McVeigh's. Well, he's dead now. but-
Yeah, he was.
How'd he go?
How did Timothy McVeigh go? Yeah. For those of you who don't know, he's responsible for the 1995 Oklahoma City bombing.
I think everyone knows that.
A lot of people probably don't. which is insane to me. But the trio would discuss religion and politics and formed a friendship, which lasted until 2001.
When Mcveigh died?
When Mcveigh died, yeah. He was the glue holding that group together.
Shit, was Mcveigh, did they kill him right before 9/11?
It was before 9/11, 100%.
And that's why 9/11 happened.
Huh.
Yeah.
Because we killed him. I would call Timothy McVeigh like the dumbest version of
Ted Kasinski.
Because Timothy McVeigh was a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you need lackeys.
Well,
in jail.
they were essentially both the same thing where it's like, fuck the system, man.
Yeah.
But in like, one was Harvard educated and one was like a redneck or whatever.
yeah, and what's crazy is they both came to the same end.
Right.
Which is, well, no, Ted Kasinski didn't get the death sentence.
Theory.
Oh, I thought you meant they both came to the same conclusion.
No, they both came to the same conclusion, like,
Right.
oh, we got to just dismantle
Yeah,
this
man,
shit.
flip the
Because,
system.
well, Timothy McVeigh was in response to the Waco stuff, too.
I think so.
That's what really fueled it.
Mcveigh was not necessarily like, we all need to go live in the woods. He just hated the government.
Timothy McVeigh wanted to fucking blow stuff up.
Yeah, I think he just didn't want to pay taxes.
Is that
Well,
it?
he was also mad because of the religious freedom problem with the Waco incident.
What was the building he bombed, though? In
The
City?
Oklahoma City, what was it? It was an IRS building, wasn't it?
I forget the name of the
I
building.
think it was taxes.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. And he did kill a bunch of kids. There was
Yeah,
there was a
dude,
daycare in the
there was a
building.
daycare.
If you want to get into that's a completely separate episode. The ham-fisted way in which that shit was blown up it's insane. It happened.
Yeah.
Like I can't use this term well, but it's like he got lucky that
Yeah.
he blew up that building.
Right.
Like it's bananas. A lot of people don't even think he did it. He was such an idiot. Like there's
Well,
a lot of
he had a second guy.
who was also an idiot.
Yeah.
Like they think they were patsies. There's a lot of people that think they didn't blow up shit. And it was but I don't
They're
understand.
dumb enough that I could like mildly entertain that. I would at least dive down that rabbit hole just to like see what people
Like a
said.
psyop.
Yeah, but like why would it be a false flag if they're not using it to go to war with anybody?
Right.
Like-
Nothing happened from that. There
No,
were
it
no new
was like-
laws. There was no Patriot Act passed after that or anything.
I mean, like 20 years later, the Supersonics moved.
It's true.
To Oklahoma City.
They felt bad.
What if it was actually just a business rival of Ryder Truck trying to, not U-Haul actually
Yeah,
committed that. They were patsies for U-Haul.
Yeah. What was it? A Ryder truck?
It was a Ryder
that
truck.
exploded.
R-I-D-E-R,
Yeah.
So U-Haul,
That was just
Got them
bad
to do
press.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
I haven't heard of a Ryder truck in a long time.
No.
fucking exactly.
There's a reason why.
What happened to Ryder Truck?
Really just blew up.
Yeah.
But in a bad way.
Now we're all U-Haul.
We're all U-Haul people. Anyway, that's all I got on Ted Kasinski today. I think he's a very interesting person, and I wanted to talk about him because I've read the manifesto before, read a lot about his time in Montana, and it's just like, what an insane
I
life
didn't
to
know
go.
mommy and daddy paid for him.
I don't know the extent to which, but at any level, it's still taking
Was his dad the Sausage King of Chicago?
whatever his name was, Kasinski.
I mean, that's quite the title.
Yeah.
I mean, you get that crown in Chicago?
Yeah.
You are the king of sausage. Honestly, Sausage King of Chicago should just make you Sausage King of the Earth.
Right. You guys
Really?
get that reference or no?
Yeah, it's Ferris Bueller.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just making sure.
But yeah, no, man. So what'd you guys think? What'd you guys learn? What'd you learn, Dan?
I learned that you can just talk anybody into having, you can Monday morning quarterback anyone's childhood into being, them being a bomber or something, or like them
An
being
excuse for their poor behavior and
yes.
choices. Yeah, absolutely.
nature versus nurture. It's usually
That's a tale as old as time too. As much as blaming religion for violence or bad decision making, so is blaming anything that happened to you before the age of
How about
15.
That's what
personal
happened when
responsibility?
That's what happened when I was 10. Now, let me go ahead and do that. I think he was really well educated, but like socially stuck at like 15 whenever high school got really bad. Hence his like kid at a punk rock concert beliefs, like take down the system.
Yeah,
Fuck this system, man.
Yeah, grow up and get a job.
he
dude.
probably looked down on a lot of people too, like his peers when he was
Yeah.
further along. Like
Fucking phonies. He probably low key loved Catcher
I
in the
was
Rye.
about to say very Holden Caulfield.
Yeah. He was. I think he like in a lot of ways was like socially stuck as like a dipshit teenager.
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously no one should have to undergo what he underwent in Harvard for that 3-year stint, but that's not enough to justify any sort of violent behavior, especially when.
So that's the thing with.
Go ahead.
I would say like it's the same thing when people, and it's true. Like if you're poor, you're more likely to commit crime.
Sure.
violent crime even, but the overwhelming vast supermajority, 99% of people in poverty don't commit violent crime.
Yeah. No, I mean,
especially when you rule out like just getting in a fist fight or something. You know what I mean? Like,
sure. I mean, whether that be like, what is a violent crime even? Like, is robbing a bank so you can afford to pay like for food, or whatever. Like,
yeah, like committing a mugging so you can get food, which that's usually not why muggings happen.
No,
anyway,
it's usually not.
But like, yeah, that's what I'm saying though. It's like, yeah, I guess you can just like,
by and large, people aren't doing that.
Right. Like, so at some point, like if a person commits a murder and then you're like, well, people in poverty, like they're more liable to because they're desperate. And it's like, yeah, that's fine. But that one person did that, and I can show you 99 people who didn't.
Let's not hand wave poor decision making and bad choices because of anything but the why?
I'm of course willing to accept that and be like, yes, this maybe wouldn't have happened had they not been in that specific set of circumstances.
Sure,
but also there are 99 other people who didn't do that.
I think exactly. I think what you're trying to say is like that socioeconomic pressures can be an absolutely fine explanation for bad behavior, but it's not an excuse for it.
Right.
It can't be used to they still deserve to face the consequences of the choice they made.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's I think that's pretty easy. And what's crazy is like that thought process can get you skewered on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Like that can get you fucking raked through the coals because it's like, you know what, man, I get that. And I've never lived in a situation where I've had to steal from someone, and I understand that. But like,
I only stole by choice.
You shoplifted.
Yeah.
That was for sport. That's for fun.
That was Ritalin before Ritalin for kids shoplifting. That was the rush everyone was trying to get. I never did it, but anyway. And then who's Hitler?
A lot of people are going to want to say Ted Kasinski is the Hitler of this story. I disagree. Yeah.
I think it's the mom, and it's not because of the way she raised the child.
Why is it then?
Her trying to make excuses.
Hitler made a lot of excuses.
Yeah.
It's true. How about you, Rob?
My Hitler for this episode is Harvard.
It's not a bad argument.
Harvard is Hitler. I want to be clip that independent of everything as well. Harvard is Hitler.
Actually, fun fact: one of the colleges. So UNABOMBER, by the way, means University and Airline Bomber.
Okay,
that's what Unabomb comes from.
Okay.
One of the colleges.
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, so it's because he was profiling universities and airlines primarily. Anyone that was into mechanical engineering, any sort of technological development, things like that. But one of the places he bombed, staying true to his Harvard roots, he did send a bomb to Yale.
Fuck yeah. Now that I can get behind.
Yeah, that's just good old fashioned college rivalry right there.
It's the game.
Yeah,
the weekend of the big game.
But yeah, I think personally that. My Hitler, is math.
Oh.
If he wasn't such
math
a
is racist, yes.
Well, personally speaking, in school, math was always my Hitler.
Math is a lot of people's Hitlers, actually. And to be fair, if he wasn't such a fucking math nerd, he probably wouldn't have gotten bullied.
If only he was stupider.
If he was dumber, he would have just...
been happy?
Probably.
Be more creative, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Use the other side of your brain.
Artists never commit violence other than Hitler.
Yeah, he was just the one. Did you see that meme recently?
Just like artists, it's like artists mostly don't, but then one comes along every once in a while and just goes wild.
He's bad about it. Have you seen the meme where it's like, look at art pre-World War II and post, and it's like pre-World War II, it's just very like photorealistic paintings of people in fields and shit like that. And then afterward, it's like neo-expressionism and like pop art and stuff. It's like, yeah, that's because they stopped denying people admission into art school. After World War II, they're like, we can't make this mistake twice. Let all the kids paint.
Oh, that's fucking great.
Anyway, go to softcorehistory.com. Check out our merch.
Buy a t-shirt.
Buy a hat.
I'm going to make our logo shirt. I'm just going to make it bigger on the T.
Just a full chest.
Just full chest.
Do that.
Check out, please tell your friends about this. We need a lot of word of mouth. That's the best way to advertise.
And don't sound desperate.
Well, yeah, we don't want to be too, we don't want to be too available.
Tell your friends, don't be like, please listen to this. I like it. Just be like, hey, maybe check it out. I don't care. They don't need you, and I don't need you.
But I will say, we appreciate everybody that does listen to this podcast very much so. We love you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your business. Thank you for your time. I know there's a lot of podcasts out there, especially in the history space.
We do some big stuff coming up this year.
We do.
Had a whole meeting about it.
We had a team meeting.
We did.
That went well.
We won't announce it yet. We'll probably announce it in like a couple weeks, but
Yeah.
we have a lot of stuff coming down the pipe with this.
Yeah, so get other people on board. Please like and subscribe. Leave us a review. Give us that 5-star rating, and we will read
very
your
important.
reviews. You know what? If we get 5-star reviews with writing, we will read
This
them
week?
next week. We will read them next week, coming Monday.
Whose shows it next week?
I
Dan's?
believe it's
Mine,
Dan's.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Dan, we will
I
read
don't want to have
those.
to remember that.
But yeah, also feel free to start sending us your history questions too. Like if you have anything you want us to talk about
To
or anything
where?
like that, at contact@softcorehistory.com.
Okay.
Or just DM us.
Or
on
just
Software
DM us.
History.
Yeah, we're going to respond to the DMs a lot faster. But
DM, just to make it easier, DM the Softcore History Instagram account.
yeah.
Yeah, not us personally.
Yeah, the only thing you need to DM us personally is pictures of my baby to Dan,
That's right.
in case you forgot.
And you'll get blocked.
Well, for Rob Fox and Dan Regester, I'm Jake Goldman.
You just got soft served.